Hey everyone, it's me Ryan, and look, given the amount of games that are coming out and things that are going on, it's been hard to follow a lot of the specific things that are happening at times. There's just way too much going on. If you ask me, we gotta shut it down. And I'm calling right now for an immediate shutdown of all things. Everything. Just everything. Until then, I wanted to cover this news from about a week ago because on this channel, we're not going to be the first one to the news. We're not going to be the second one, but we're going to get to some kind of consensus and wait for the shoes to drop where they may. The shoe to drop where... That's not the saying. Anyway, the point is we talked a lot about the woes and the hopes that we have for Dragon Age 4 here. And honestly, I've been sitting on this for a little bit, and I gotta say this latest bit here is concerning. Some of these thoughts and opinions you've probably heard from hundreds of other people or a bunch of other people on the internet who have been talking and covering this game or covering things about this game or about this company. So I apologize if there is some overlap here, but that can't be helped. Dragon Age 4 has lost its executive producer, and So the point here is that I want to talk about this reluctantly, and then maybe also do a bit of a gut check for you, a gut check for me about Dragon Age 4 with what we know about its dev cycle thus far. So subscribe if you want, grab a drink, maybe something hard, like an alcoholic hard. You knew what I meant. And let's get into this. Here we go. Christian Daly leaves BioWare. Now, first off, it goes without saying, I don't want to be hyperbolic. I really don't. If it feels that way, then fair enough. I really can't tell you how to perceive me, but I am ready to deal with the scenario where I bring this up here and then we see the game and we even play it and it's everything we hoped for. It is just very easy to hear all this news leading up to this point where we are today and just assume that there's no hope for Dragon Age 4. But I don't want this to be dramatic here, or me crying wolf about a game we honestly know very little about in the grand scheme of things. Broadly, a lot of the top brass at BioWare has left in the last few years, and it's just never encouraging news when this stuff happens. Now, we just covered a few months ago, if you've been watching, about how they lost their second creative director, and now this. I don't know, man. I go back and forth about all this, like what's going on here? Despite the turbulent development roadmap of Dragon Age 4, BioWare announced yesterday that the RPG is in the middle of the production phase. The announcement here coincided with the news that a Dragon Age executive producer was leaving the studio. As the blog post tells it, the developer's morale is reportedly high now and the game is hitting deadlines despite the recent and previous departures and general lack of major updates. BioWare explained that the fantasy RPG is currently executing on the blueprint that was set out during the pre-production planning phase. The studio assured its fans that the team is currently creating amazing environments, deep characters, strong gameplay, impactful writing, and emotional cinematics. It also named longtime series veterans for both the Dragon Age and Mass Effect series, such as the production director Mac Walters, the game director Corin Bush, and the director of product development Benoit Houle as directors who will be leading the production phase. At the same time, just yesterday, the Dragon Age executive producer Christian Daly announced that he would be leaving BioWare and that the next installment of the series is in great hands. He added in a separate tweet that the Dragon Age team is killing it and the game is in amazing hands. Don't fall for the hate, he says. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but aside from anything else, my main takeaway here is that essentially they've lost another top team member. Now, maybe an executive producer is not essential, at least in this case. It's not a creative director. It's not necessarily a creative role, maybe. I'm not really sure that they're making creative decisions, I mean. But again, we are looking at a pattern here of just not so great optics for a company that doesn't seem to be doing well. So beyond whatever the executive producer's responsibilities are, there's that. Now, Christian Daly says, don't fall for the hate. And at least from where I come from with it, it's not hate, man, it's concern. Now, I probably sound like a lunatic on this channel because one video I'm sitting here telling you I'm feeling good, next one I'm feeling concerned, and you come here and you're like, Ryan, you dumb little bitch. It's just a pattern of them losing a lot of talent, top positions during the development of this game and others too. It's really just hard to feel good about any of it, about all of this. This is not a creative role, at least to my knowledge, so I'm probably overreacting to that specifically. You can check me on that, of course. I'm more than willing to be wrong or be checked on it. But it's just not a good feeling to have that all these major posts are being vacated. Sure, people leave jobs all the time. That's life. They do other things. They work on other things. That could be the case, of course, here. And I hope it is. And when the game launches, I hope I feel stupid for thinking that they didn't have it together here. Now, the other part of that is BioWare also has, as of late, or maybe they've always done this, but I'm just now realizing it. They have this funny thing that they do where they're being quiet for a while, right? They're just in the background, slowly toiling away on things. And occasionally they just come out of the woodwork. They come out of nowhere and they post a blog post out of nowhere and they're like, hey man, we're good here. Whole staff quit, but it's all coming along. No live service, eh? Or, you know, they talk about stuff about how it's all going great, and maybe it is, we don't know, but of course they would say that. So what I'm getting at here is like, we should be skeptical and ask questions about what is really happening. Like, does anybody know? Even if I am as excited for you for the next Dragon Age, I even said in my last video on this subject, all these blog posts, of course, are not going to say something like, please help, the building is on fire. Please, for the love of God, send help. They're not going to say that. They're just not. I also want to emphasize something else from this blog post, and that does go against my other concern over another top lead leaving their post. So you can see I am pretty conflicted here. It says, for the next Dragon Age, we're right in the middle of production, which is a great feeling. Our blueprint was completed last year, so we're now focused on building out our vision for the game. Creating amazing environments, deep characters, strong gameplay, impactful writing, emotional cinematics, and much more. The blueprint for the game is well understood and the team is focused. Could be that this blueprint means that the wheels are already in motion and there's not really much that can stop the direction of the game, but I would say that things can probably change pretty quickly in production and in development. Really, when you're making anything can change on a dime. Like, I could just flip myself around in this video upside down and you'd be like, what? Because I changed it on a dime. The positive side of this is that BioWare, I think, likely is smart enough to know that they have to succeed here. If we refer back to what Gary McKay said back in the end of the year blog post, they do seem to be committed to this idea of quality and making sure they get this game right. And if EA allows it, good on them. At least as far as like letting the game take as long as it's gonna take to get it right. And I will even say, given this comment, later this year, you will start to hear more from the Dragon Age team in the form of blogs and social content, McKay wrote. However, I also have to whine about this, and I'm sorry for this in advance, and I know I've already talked about this, but I need to put this out there yet again. Why do we need to hear from BioWare every few months about how they're still hard at work on Dragon Age 4? My reaction to that is always, okay, cool. Hope it's going well. I don't know what to do with this information. I could ignore them, but this reeks of just like,
Hey, don't forget about us.
It's like me here trying to get more publicity than f***ing Elden Ring or Horizon in February. You'd say, what are you trying to do? It's annoying. I'm glad you're doing good, but you'll have your moment to show us what you got when it's time. You don't need to remind us that you're going to show us something at some point in the future. That's like me telling you, hey, I might have a video coming at some point. You're going to say, okay, just make it. Just f***ing make it. Like, we don't need to be reminded that you're going to be making a game. We know. You're a video game company. You're making video games. Thanks a lot. We were all very confused about that. All right, I know I'm bitching a lot in this video, but I want to do a bit of a quick gut check on Dragon Age 4 as it stands right now, as of the making of this video, at least my gut check. There's honestly two scenarios I can see likely happening with Dragon Age 4, given what we know. The implementation and subsequent dropping of live service elements and multiplayer elements, multiple executives and personnel leaving during development, just an overall vibe of uncertainty that's been going on here. It doesn't bode well for the health of the game, but scenario one, despite that, is that Dragon Age is kind of a middle of the road contradiction of tons of ideas, and most of them work, but a lot of them don't. Some of them don't. It won't be terrible, but it won't be great either. It'll end up somewhere in the middle. And I could see this honestly doing very well with critics in this scenario, kind of like Inquisition, but then you have the community itself being far more mixed on it. I could see that totally happening. Then there's scenario two, is that Dragon Age is a return to form for BioWare and puts them back on the map as a developer to watch, or at least keep an eye on. If they execute here, They earned some temporary goodwill, at least until the next Mass Effect, and suddenly we're talking about BioWare's redemption arc truly in full force. It's truly beginning at this point. I do find it incredibly unlikely that Dragon Age 4 is going to be a horrible broken mess, especially with what happened with Anthem, because according to Jeff Grubb and reports from other insiders, Gary McKay and Christian Daly himself, the game is on track and it's doing well. And look, I don't want to bury that here. I didn't want to bury that here towards the end of the video, but I say that to just put it out there that it's unlikely to be a total flop and disaster. Though I say that obviously as just a prediction, and I could totally be wrong here, so you can definitely clip this out and just show me in a year or two's time and be like, hey, you said it wasn't gonna be bad. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just a dumb YouTuber. I just make videos where I just make guesses about stuff that I'm interested in. Now, if what Jeff Grubb says is true, the game is tracking for a late 2023 or even early 2024 release. We won't have to wait much longer to see. And with that, I hope that these moves just aren't more signs that there's continued development trouble. Because if we get more news like this again, I'm not even going to be able to talk about it because I don't even know what else I could say at this point that I haven't already said or 100 other people haven't already said. So yeah, I really do think it's probably going to be one of those two scenarios, I think, but that's the secret optimist in me. If there's any pessimism in me, it'll say that it's over at this rate or it's not gonna be good, but I don't think it'll be that bad. I really don't. With that, folks, that is just my gut check on Dragon Age 4 thus far. I don't think I have much more to say on this subject other than I want to know what you think about this. What is your gut check on Dragon Age 4? How are you feeling about it? Because I want to know how you're feeling about it, because that'll tell me what I'm thinking is either wrong or right, or maybe I'm just overreacting. So please, by all means, let me know down in the comments below. And of course, like, dislike, comment, or subscribe, or do all three. I don't really have a preference, but I mean, I do, but you really can do whatever you want. I can't control you. It's your life. Until the next time, I want to wish you a happy and healthy one. And really, thanks for watching. And I will talk to you all soon. At least I'll try to.